Hello guys, I'm so excited that finally I have just received my new book, The Bible of Bodybuilding. It's a book that consists of 400 pages. You can purchase this book on Amazon, and this book contains my former books, The PDs Used in Sports and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, plus the Training, Nutrition, Supplementation, but also including extra features, Q&As about gear, about HRT, but also a quiz regarding supplements, diet, and of course PEDs. So the Bible of Bodybuilding on Amazon, both on ebook and Kindle version.
Hey everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Tsoulianos, brought to you by his new book, The Bible of Bodybuilding. This gives you everything you need to know. Training, nutrition, supplementation, PEDs, everything you need to have the best physique you can possibly build. And of course, if you're on Amazon buying books, go ahead and get this one, Real Bodybuilding, Muscle Truth from 25 years in the trenches. It's actually like 38 years at this point. And now all the way from Athens, Greece, please welcome Dr. George Tsoulianos. Hey, doctor.
Hello, Ron. Have a good week.
Good.
Have a good month also.
Yeah, it's November.
I guess by this week, it's official now, the Arnold Classic, March 3 to 6. But we're going to know this week, I guess, if the education will take place. So in such case, I will travel to Columbus.
Right. Yeah, I think they're going to have everything back to normal at the Arnold.
I hope so, fingers crossed, because I want to come there, and it's a major thing for me. Yeah. For my career, for my international, patients and clients, to be there. Yeah. It's going to be 3 years now with the show, almost we're going to hit 150 episodes.
That's right. Yeah. This is, I have 139. What number do you have for this?
Yeah, 139, but
okay. Is that the right number?
By March, we're going to hit 150. Oh, yeah. And I've written so far 33 columns on the magazine, 34, I guess.
Yeah, so we have one issue, 12 issues a year. Guys, we still have a magazine, believe it or not. Yes, Muscular Development. Also, I want to let people know at the beginning and the end of the video, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and hit the always part of that so you always get notified, because I want your views. Give me your views, please. All right, doctor, you ready for some questions?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, number one, some doctors recommend against taking aspirin for heart health because it can lead to internal bleeding. How would you test if your blood is dangerously thin? Test your platelets. What other blood test markers show if you might be at risk of internal bleeding?
So you shouldn't take aspirin if you don't have any issues with coagulation, high viscosity, increased hemoglobin, Actually, aspirin deactivates the platelets, doesn't affect the absolute number. So by inhibiting prostaglandins, it's anti-inflammatory, actually, the aspirin. And all the anti-inflammatory drugs, like ibuprofen, for instance, diclofenac, temecula, they hinder the platelet aggregation, and their function is hindered, So let's say that you have a bleeding and it's supposed to be clotted in 3 minutes. If you take an aspirin, it will go to 5 minutes. Wow. You don't have so many platelets to go there to aggregate and form the clot, Mm-hmm. But seriously, there's no need to take an aspirin. Now, there are some studies and valid studies that aspirin can be used as a prevention for the colonic cancer. Thomas says that also. Mm-hmm. I'm taking aspirin because I have it through cytosis, no other reason, because aspirin may contribute to a little bit of leakage of blood through GIT, stomach, and you may have melena, which is black stool, oxidized blood in the feces, Oh boy. And then you may have, of course, red, the appearance of fresh blood, actually, from hemorrhoids, or blood coming from the colon, which is not oxidized, And this may contribute to a lower in the iron, but also in the hemoglobin and the hematocrit, So this is not cool because you're gonna have the lack of stamina, feel fatigue, Yeah. But apart from the platelets, another factor is fibrinogen. It is a protein made by liver. You know, smoking elevates fibrinogen. Steroids elevate fibrinogen also. And INR is a factor, is a clotting factor made by the liver. Now, steroids have the ability to prolong INR. When you take anti-clotting medications, let's say after having a heart open surgery, you know, changing the valve, you know, the aortic valve or the bicuspid, the tricuspid valves, or if you have a heart attack or you put a stent, you take some medications that prolong INR because simply you want to avoid clotting, you know, and thrombus. So if you have elevated INR, simply means that your blood is so thin, you know, like water, and it's not viscous, it's not clotting, you know. So it's a problem if you have an internal bleeding, you know. So this is something that steroids also do. So you shouldn't take aspirin if you have prolonged INR, okay? And if you have normal hemoglobin, there's no need to take aspirin.
Okay. So, but most steroid users, if they have an elevated red blood cell count, is an aspirin a day a good idea?
Yeah, sure. Okay. If you have a hemoglobin over 18, you know, of course, 50 hematocrit is not a lot for a guy, but if you take steroids on top of this, may go hit 55, you need an aspirin for a steady, you know, in a steady basis. Gotcha. But check out also INR and fibrinogen, because there are parameters that contribute to thrombus, clotting, you know, and this is very important.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to start talking about the vaccines, of course, but there is a lot of concern that they can.
Yeah, but listen, to vaccine, 1 out of 250,000 is the tendency to form something at the venous thrombosis. Going by the plane is 1 out of 1,000, you know?
Yeah, wow.
And come on, about the virus itself,
yeah,
it's way more frequent, you know?
Sure.
So what are you going to choose? Dying out of the vaccine is 1 out of 100,000. Dying out of COVID is 1 out of 50, because the mortality rate is 2%.
Right.
Okay, what are you going to choose? And personally, I don't want to go into the inflammation process. This is what the vaccines do, prevention. Okay. I don't need the infection, you know.
I mean, I'm vaccinated, so the comment section is going to go crazy. Vaccine, anti-vaxxers. But anyway, let's turn the subject to fruit. Why not? A diet question. What is the role of ordinary fruit like apples, oranges, bananas, not talking about exotic antioxidants like acai berries? I don't even know how you say that. Most bodybuilder diet programs seem to just count fruit the same as sugar or carbs. Any advice is appreciated.
Yeah, so we tend to avoid fruits during the cutting phase because of the fructose. It's a simple carb, you know, elevates insulin. The only environment you can take a little bit of fruit, but antioxidant fruit like berries, you know, for instance, pomegranate, is post-workout. You need this replenish of muscle glycogen with simple carbs also in the first place. And also another thing about fructose is that it can create fat storage into the liver, you know. So by taking so much fructose, you're going to become insulin resistant and have a fatty liver disease, you know. So fructose can make fat storage and lipogenesis in the liver without the presence of insulin, you know. So it's not so cool to be fed with fruits all the time. Another idea is to consume the fruits with the cover, what you call it.
The cover, like steamed?
Don't peel the
just eat the whole thing, like with
the fiber, because fiber will slow down this.
Right.
You know? And avoid the fruits like grapes and bananas. Now grapes, the black grapes especially, are good because they have resveratrol and they improve the lipids. But taking too much of white grapes, you know, and bananas are only for the off season. If you want to take your creatine, for instance.
Right. Well, what about post-workout?
Yeah, sure. Okay, but not during cutting phase. During cutting phase, I would take 2 blueberries, 2 blackberries, and two.
You mean just actually 2 of them? 2 berries?
Yes, and 2 grapes also, you know, and just a teaspoon of a pomegranate, you know, because I want to keep it younger, just for the health, you know, just for the antioxidants, just you know, to prevent oxidation, perhaps, of the lipids.
Yeah, because you've been cutting for a couple months now, so you must. That's all the fruit you eat every day is just 2 blueberries, 2 blackberries.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, also, but I don't I'm using also good fats, you know, sometimes to keep my cholesterol profile good, you know. But I'm steady now at 205 for more than 2 weeks because I feel kind of flat and fatigued, you know. So I don't want to burn out and toast it, you know.
Right.
So I slow down the fat burning, but I'm steady now. And I guess at 200, I'm going to be really good.
You're at 205 now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Very close. All right. Well, the next question he asked me, but I want your opinion too. It's a training question. I like how we throw everything because you can't just talk about drugs and nutrition. You need to talk about training sometimes too. So this gentleman said, Ron, when you say the 20 reps for squat, are you talking about the 20 rep breathing squat? That's the set I build up to. I use a weight, which I can do for not more than 7 or 8 reps with normal weight between reps, a normal rest period between reps. Then I have to take 3, 4, sometimes 5 deep breaths between each rep to make it to 20. The bar is on the, I think he meant to say he leaves the bar on his back the whole time. It's a total mental challenge. If you think negatively on, say, rep 12 or 14, you're not going to make it to 20. If you visualize and somehow transcend, then you're likely to make it to 20. I'm sure to wrap my knees, wear a belt, and have safety pins high enough so I can fail safely. I can up the weight and do 8 or 9 reps, but it just isn't the same as a 20 rep max. Yeah, because we talked about leg training on the last show, and we said, you know, you can't just do low reps for legs. They're not going to grow. They do respond better to higher reps. So he's talking about the breathing squats were a big fad way back when, like, geez, I think like the 1940s and 50s. It's been that's when it was a popular thing among the American bodybuilders. So they would take, yeah.
I was reading yesterday, this guy, Brad Schofield, which is really knowledgeable. You know, he had a seminar in Athens and he has many followers. He's a columnist also of MD, you know, he used to be actually. And he posted a study that says it's not exclusively the squat that can build the thighs, and especially, you know, the glutes. Squats are for the glutes mainly, right, if you go all the way down. But with a leg press, you can build really huge quadriceps and also biceps in the hams, because you can change the stance and it's way safer for the lower back. Yeah. Perhaps not ideal for the glutes, but to me, that I'm aging and I had my spinal cord surgery, I isolate my lower back, you know, when I do the leg press, but I hit really heavy with a wide and with a close stance at my vastus lateral, you know, that the outer sleeve gets really stimulated, you know, and you can put as much as heavy weight you want to it, only if you have a problem with your knees, you know, but if you don't, you can really blast your thighs, especially your thigh with a leg press. It's really safe, you know, but with a squat, it's a pain in the ass. Now, with a Smith, you can adjust the stance safer. Yeah. Okay.
Put your feet forward or back, you know, wherever they.
Yes. Unlike the free one, okay.
Right.
But as you age and you're more fragile, you can put all your effort into the hack squat machine or the leg press. Yeah. Or the Smith, you know, and be really cautious, you know.
Yeah. I mean, for the younger guys, I did squats for 25 years.
You need, as a younger guy, to do free weights. Yeah. You're a Superman, you know, no injuries.
And the 20 rep, I think the 20 rep squat, it's one of the toughest things you can do. But sometimes I would just build up.
This is a lot, you know. I guess you go then to stamina, to endurance, in lactic acid, you know.
I never got more than 365 at the most for 20 reps, and I had to take pauses. But I would have to stop. I would do like 8. I would do like 10 reps, and then I'd have to go. I'd have to rest a few seconds, do one more.
Yeah, rest and pose.
It's like, it is like rest pause. So these breathing squats they were talking about.
But if you do rest and pose for a long time, then you're gonna collapse because you are under pressure all the time, you know, and you expend energy, you know, so you're gonna run out of gas eventually.
I mean, you got all that weight. It's still on your back. You still have to.
I do the rest and pose when I do lunges, so I do 10 meters ahead and then I'll go back. And by finishing the one row, you know, I'm so fatigued. So for 30 seconds, I'm taking breaths. Yeah. But if I take more breaths, you know, I'm gonna collapse because it's the weight, you know, that you're under pressure, you know.
So when you're done with the bar, do you just drop it off your back, or what do you do?
Sometimes, and they yell at me.
Yeah, I did.
They kick me out of the gym because of that.
I remember, you know, Ronnie Coleman was famous for those parking lot
Yeah,
lunges.
he was going outdoors. You know?
Yeah. So I did those when I went to train with Ronnie way back in 2005. We did legs and it was pouring rain out. And that's how we finished the workout is everybody had to take the weights outside and we did the lunges and it was all mud. It was like puddles and mud. And at the end, we were just dropping the weights and they were getting so wet, so dirty and muddy. It was disgusting. My sneakers got ruined, but it was a good time. It was Ronnie Coleman. Come on. Anyway. All right. Well, doctor, it's our weekly Gus Poulos question. Gus, our #1 question submitter. Hello, doctor. I have a question. I usually take trenbolone acetate every other day when I'm blasting. But what would happen if I use trenanthate every other day when I'm blasting? Would that be an advantage or disadvantage?
Yeah, consider that trenanthate retains 30% of the substance and releases the 70%, unlike the acetate that releases the 90%. You know?
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh,
So that's why you need to shoot frequently acetate, and eventually you're going to get more milligrams out of the acetate.
Wow.
So it's supposed to be more anabolic because it releases more of the substance. It's the same with testosterone, you know. But
wow.
acetate is faster than the propionate, which is 8%.
Wow. So a lot of the enanthate, trenanthate gets wasted, sounds like.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
But that's why it's more convenient because you need to inject less frequent.
Yeah,
Actually, the acetate comes in 100 milligrams like the testosterone propionate,
right.
while the ananthate comes into 50 like the testosterone, for instance.
Yeah.
So it's more dense. The material releases perhaps less of the substance, but eventually you inject more milligrams.
Yeah.
So it's almost equal, you know?
Yeah. Well, if the price is the same, we're talking about budget now, might as well just use the enanthate, I guess. And, you know, nobody wants it. Not many people want to inject every other day. That's a lot of injecting, especially if you're probably not on trend. You're probably also on test and trend, maybe something else too. Okay. This is the question that I decided would be our question of the week because I love vodka. And when I'm cutting, I love Clen. So, hey, Ron, I have a question. Can I use clenbuterol every day regularly and drink vodka 2 to 3 times a week? Is this a good idea, bad idea? What do you think, Doc?
Now, vodka, what has to do with bodybuilding? It's only the day of the show, I guess, to dehydrate you and cause vasodilation. That's all. And I would choose red wine better than vodka.
No, I think he's worried about health. Is it, you know, because if you're taking
Listen, it's not a healthy perspective.
Right.
Being a drinker or a smoker or a coke addict and be a bodybuilder. You know, as I said to another interview, you have to be the good example and take the one risk and leave the other 2 risks, you know, 3 risks, you know. Yeah. You're not a bodybuilder. Bodybuilder, you know, shouldn't eat junk because you're going to clog your arteries, you know, because you're going to do fat storage. You need to be ideal, the alpha male.
True. But, you know, Clen's not a 17 alkylated steroid, so.
No, man, no, but vodka, what has to do? I mean, you're going to strain your liver. If you take only Clen, okay, no problem. But, you know, vodka has 7 calories per gram. Also dehydrates, it has empty calories. We're not talking about red wine that has a little bit of resveratrol, for instance.
You're right.
But vodka? Seriously?
I only drink it once a month.
What for?
Not once a month. To get drunk, obviously. But all right, guys, don't drink, don't smoke. Try to be healthy. We got another clenbuterol, huh? Don't sniff, don't snort. That was more the 80s. I don't hear about cocaine that much anymore. Do a lot of people still use cocaine? Probably, I guess.
I guess, you know, to suppress appetite, you know.
Yeah, that's true. In America, it's meth. Methamphetamine is way more popular than cocaine.
Or a pre-workout, you know.
Yeah. Well, some people used to use coke as a pre-workout. You're right. Yeah, you could tell in those old 80s videos, they were all.
NBA also, the NBA.
What is it? Yohimbi?
In the NBA, the basketball.
In the NBA. Oh, yeah, they were notorious. Yeah. Okay, we have another clenbuterol question. I did not put these together on purpose. Hi, Doc. I'm using clenbuterol from a good pharma, genuine ones, but I'm not feeling the side effects of Clen. Not even sweating at 120 microgram dosages. I'm on DECA only. Does DECA affect the Clen's effectiveness? I used Clen 5 years ago and I was cramping, and I know that feeling, painful pumps, but I'm not getting that effect now. How do I know if this Clen is working?
I don't think so, but in order to estimate and realize if Clen works, just calculate your heartbeat and your blood pressure. These are the 2 main side effects, you know, not necessarily the heating process, you know, the thermogenesis, but speeding heart rate out of the adrenaline rush, and blood pressure, of course, notorious because you get a nasty occipital here back in the cervix,
Right.
pain,
So
which is the elevated blood pressure.
I always got the shakes. Did you
Trembling,
get that?
shaking, yes, also that, yes.
Yeah. So if you were a surgeon, you'd have to stay away from Clen, or you cut somebody along.
You know what? I had a friend who was a plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills, and he was taking Clen to lean out. And I told him, do not take this before the day of your surgery.
Ooh. Oh, and he listened to you, right? I hope.
I hope so, yeah.
Gee, Beverly Hills, you said?
Oh, yeah, boy. He's a Greek fellow, Oh,
he's doing great. He's doing great then. Beverly Hills plastic surgeon. Oof. Boy, all right. All right, our final question of the day. Hi, doctor. I am 92 kilograms, 10% body fat. Is Anavar and Stanozol and Test E a good stack for toning up? What dosages do you suggest?
Now, I said that this is based on the half-life, so 3 times a day. 7, 3, 11, 10 milligrams, 30 milligrams of stanozolol and oxandrolone.
Yeah.
And I would choose testosterone propionate that gets out of the system. Perhaps it aromatizes less. We use propionate during the cutting, along with those pills that clear out the system rapidly, instead of enanthate. Okay. So you can shoot 3 times a week the propionate 300 milligrams and take 30 milligrams out of each compound, Muscular and Anavar.
Yeah. So 900. So that would be 900 milligrams of test a week?
No, 300.
300. So 100, 100, 100.
Yes.
All right, I gotta make that clear because somebody out there.
And perhaps you can take 2 milligrams of anastrozole per week.
Okay. Did you get a dog?
No, they're barking over the neighborhood. I have cats over here.
I know. If you have cats and dogs, they're gonna be fighting all the time.
I know.
Yeah, we have because we have my daughter staying with us before she moves down to Florida, and her cat's here and my dog Branch, and they're not fighting, but it's they're always like avoiding each other. They don't like each other. Anyway.
So you had Halloween, yeah?
Yeah, we have Halloween. Do they celebrate Halloween in Greece?
No, we have something different like the carnival in February or March.
That's like Carnival, like the Brazilians.
Yes, like in Brazil. It's different.
So they got the women like in the thongs shaking around in the streets with the
we dress, different things.
Nah, too bad. I'm sorry. I've never been to Carnival either.
What did you dress?
The skeleton face, the mask, the usual. Just nothing special this year. Next year I'll do something good. I promise. Yeah, I'm slacking.
So don't you reveal your body, something like Superman, Hulk, or a football player,
No, this time, so my daughter was a DJ. She had a club gig Friday night. It's a Halloween weekend. The clubs, people go in costumes. So for that, I had the mask and I had an old shirt like this, spandex, where I cut one of the sleeves off and I cut some holes in it so they could see I was a bodybuilder. But I had the mask on the whole time. Yeah. So they couldn't tell I was 52 years old. Maybe they thought I was a young kid like them.
Yes.
It's all young people in these clubs. I'm like the grandpa. They're all like 21, 22 years old, these kids. It's crazy. Anyway, well, doctor, I thank you for staying up late. We had a miscommunication. I didn't realize you changed your clock. So we had to do this evening time in Greece. Thank you very much. We change our clocks next week. So we'll be back on our normal 7-hour time difference between Greece and the East Coast of the United States. So that's it. Guys, please, again, subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment, give it the thumbs up, hit the notification bell. Go to doctor's website, gtoul.com. A lot of great content there in English and in Greek. Follow him on Instagram at Dr. George Tsoulianos. And one more time, go to Amazon.com and pick up the Bible of Bodybuilding. Everything you need to know in there. That's it, doctor. We thank you so much. Such a service you provide for all these people. A medical doctor and national bodybuilding champion with all this information and knowledge and expertise. It's very, very rare. So we appreciate you, doctor. So that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Ask Dr. Testosterone, and we'll see you next time.